Hi guys, so today I'm going to start a little simple stop motion project and I'm going to do a couple of things. So the first thing is I've got to make my camera, my phone, stable, and I'm going to be working in that iMotion app, or if you don't have the iMotion app, you guys are going to use any kind of stop motion app that you can get. And I'm going to go to New Movie, and I don't want it to be square, so I'm not going to start my movie like this. I'm going to turn it sideways so that it starts horizontal. And I'm going to make sure it's set to manual. I don't want it to be set to time lapse. And I'm going to hit start. Now I've got two heavy objects here, and these objects I'm going to use to hold my phone up. So it's going to be kind of like my phone stand. So I am going to put it in here and use my phone stand. But when I first did it, I was doing it this way, and I've got my camera down here, and it was all the way down on the table, and it was showing so much table, and the orange seemed not to be the main focus. So now I'm going to try it this way and see if I like it this way. And I definitely think that's a much better focal point. Now right now I've got my orange on this table, on this paper towel, but as I'm animating, I know this paper towel is probably going to move a lot, and so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to make sure that my base is something stable and heavy that won't move so much. So I'm going to get the paper towel out of there and make sure it's totally out of the frame. I'm going to put my orange right there. And actually a little bit of my box is showing here, so I'm going to kind of move the box down a little. Make sure none of it's in the picture frame when I'm animating, because I think that's going to be ruin my picture. I also have a lot of space here and here on either side of my orange, so I'm going to actually get even closer to my orange than I already am, and maybe tilt it a little so I have a nice angle. Though if I tilt it too much, I worry it's not stable in my base. So I'm going to kind of push this so it's just in the frame the way I like it. Pretty tight here. The only thing is, right now I'm showing all this background stuff in the classroom, and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this crate, and you can use any kind of big box you have. Everybody's got a box right now. And I'm going to cover that because I don't like the way it looks. So I happen to have a cloth here that's all black. I'm going to take this all black cloth, cover this, and then I'm going to just let it come down on the table. Any kind of tablecloth or a blanket or something will do, but if the blanket's too busy, it has like too much pattern, then what will happen is it's going to make your video hard to see and understand. Alright, so I've got that there, and I'm just going to start my first stop motion video. And for this stop motion video, I'm going to tap on the orange because the black's actually changing the focal color. I don't like what that black is doing. It's causing that to be the focus. So I've got to kind of change this so that my orange has got to be in the center. So it's got to be in the center of the picture, or the camera is not focusing on it. So I'm really taking my time to just set this up right. There we go. No box in the picture. I've got a pretty simple, clean background. Laying that out so it's mostly smooth. My orange is in the center. Camera's focused on the orange. I'm ready to go. I'm going to hit my first button, capture. Now when I touch it, I just want to touch it nice and light. And I notice up here it says images 1. That's good. If I take a bad image, I don't want to keep going. I want to keep going. I don't want to stop and go in and delete it, because then I'm moving the camera too much. I want to keep the camera where it is. But what I can do is I can show scissors like this in front of the picture, so that I know that the picture with the scissors and the picture one in front of the scissors need to get cut out. So that's something I can do that'll help me later on when I'm editing, so I don't have to excessively move the camera. But for now, images 1, perfect. I don't have a way to mark my orange, so I'm either going to do one or two things. I'm either going to leave it there. I'm never going to pick it fully up and put it down. Or if I do pick it up and put it down, I'm going to leave my finger as a mark, or I'll have another marker. Now, the nice thing about this is I can't see behind it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little mark Sorry, I totally left and then just kept talking. But I'm going to put a little mark with this blue washable marker on the plate right behind it. And that's going to help me. But then later on, if I've got to get rid of that mark, I can easily wash it off. So then I'm going to take this, pick it up, and I'm just going to start to unpeel it. Now notice I didn't even unpeel it. I just started. I just kind of bent the orange a little bit in preparation to unpeel it. Line that up how it was. Hit capture. Images 2. And I want that kind of subtle moment, especially at the beginning of my film, because if it starts subtle, people will believe more action later if I have less action now. So if I ease them into the action, they'll be more likely to believe it later. So capture. Make sure it says 3. So little movements here. My little top came off, but I don't want to just disappear just yet. I'm going to check and make sure it's out of the picture before I allow it to disappear. And it is out of the picture, so I'll take it out. Okay, images 4. Take that out. A little more peel. Capture. Now notice all my light is coming from different ways. It's not behind me because I don't want to be casting a shadow over this thing as I'm working. Little moves. Images 6. Images 7. Images 8. Very small movements. I am not doing a lot, and I'm trying to keep that consistency alive. Remember, consistency is the key to making the movement believable. And you don't have to do an orange. You could do something totally different. And it can go pretty quickly. That's too big of a move, so it swings too much there. I'm going to kind of push it back. Get some kind of transitional movement. Sometimes you got to work quickly. That'll be okay. And that's a lot of drop, so I'm going to let it move up, let it drop. Next picture. So now I'm trying to kind of keep it there, holding it in place with one hand, unpeeling it with the other, conscious that I'm not moving the plate. The plate does want to move a little. I'm at picture 18. disconnect the whole thing. Now I'm going to get this peel out of here. Keeping an eye on the images to make sure I don't take an extra picture. And to make sure that my orange has consistent movements. Orange is almost all the way out of my picture. Can't see my hand here, so I'm going to actually hold it on the edge there so it doesn't just magically drop. One picture with no orange peel. Now I'm going to make my orange spin. Small turn. Now, if you have an orange, you're welcome to use an orange and do exactly what I did, but you might have a different fruit, vegetable, drink, something that you want to play with, and create a very simple animation with that. So, I would like some movement though. I don't just want things to appear and disappear. Make sure things are moving. Okay, now I'm going to have my orange blossom out. I'm going to just gently pry apart the tops of these. Some of them are already coming apart. Be careful that I don't overdo it. Okay. Very small movements are important in this. I'm going to take this middle thing out here. Kind of bump some of these around, so I've got to make sure that I get them back in place. I'm going to have them slowly come out. Some of them are still holding on to the ones next to them. all the way to the edge of this rim. Some of these loose strings, I'm just taking them off a little, clean them up. They don't seem to be too obvious in the picture, but I don't want them to like get in the way. If they were too obvious, I wouldn't be removing them because then you'd see that, and that would be bad. But they're obvious enough that if I don't remove them, you also might see them and they look ugly. I'm up to 63 pictures. This video with all the prep is at 16 minutes right now. Now I'm going to rotate them again. And then I might rotate the plate a little, the opposite direction. That way I don't have to rotate the individual ones, but I'm getting some kind of rotation. Now I'm going to keep the plate moving. Whichever one's straight at me, I'm going to get rid of it. But I'm going to wait until it's straight at me. Delicious. The best thing about stop motion is I had you do 8 pictures and you were like, oh my gosh, this hurts. I'm up to 91 pictures and all I've done is just enjoy a snack. Being very careful not to cast a shadow on my work. Now, I don't know if you noticed, I was slowly moving my plate forward as I was rotating it, and I'm going to continue to rotate it and move it forward completely out of the frame, because it's pretty easy to do. I'm going to make sure just a little teeny bit shows for the very last frame. And then I'm going to take 5 dead pictures. Those are pictures where there's nothing in it, just so my film doesn't instantly cut off when the plate leaves. Alright, then I'm going to hit stop twice. Oh, and I got a good one. It's at 15 frames per second right now, and actually I think that works well. So that's what I'm going to use. One thing I don't like is when a plate comes out, it actually changes the way it's reading, and the whole picture lightens up. I might delete the end of the film. So I've got 120 pictures. This video right now is at 20 minutes. So with setup and 120 pictures, it took me about 20 minutes. I did have a couple things on hand. Maybe it would have taken me an extra 5 minutes. I want you to use the rest of the class and make one video with at least 100 pictures and using some kind of food. Could be cheese and crackers. I could have had the cheese. If I had a clean countertop, the cheese could have come in from one side, the crackers from another. Could have almost had them battle and then started eating them, or turned it into a little dance between them, something like that. I'll post my video that I turned out here, but it should be at least 100 pictures. All right, go do it and succeed, please.